right, ladies and gents, you have tuned in to the Summer 2016 NA Challengers Cup brought to you by hi-rez Studios, Owlhead Studios, and Discord. My name's Tiger, and with me I have Epip. How you doing, man?
Great. I am looking forward to this round 3 game. This is this is this is going to feature one of my favorite teams to watch in all of Challenger Cup. I love watching Salsa Squadron play. Um, you know that feeling whenever you get just really good mechanical players. I feel like we've got that in the Salsa Squadron, and I always love watching them perform at their level.
Well, a lot of people do, and in fact, they are the first seed currently with 180 points, going up against Mehoy Minoy, who are the ninth seed. So Mehoy Minoy have quite a bit to prove here. They want to be in the round robin, so they've got to truck along and win against Salsa Squadron, who, as mentioned, are first seed. So already waiting on a couple of bans. First up, Salsa Squadron say no Raijin. We have not seen a Raijin game thus far on the stream. For good reason, Raijin is a powerhouse.
I actually don't expect that we will see a Raijin game on the stream. We do see Ratatasker also banned out. Not surprising either. I think that what we're going to see are some pretty standard bans right now. As we do see Susano coming in too. Yeah. What would you do if you had the fourth ban here? What would you ban?
Oh, Kwong.
And right, you are. It's almost like you can see into the future.
Well, I can't see into the future. If I did know who was about to win this, it would take the hype away. I hate knowing who's about to win. I purposely don't look. I like to be surprised. So Salsa Squadron and Mehoy Minoy, I have zero idea. But Salsa Squadron going to go ahead and prioritize that Athena. That is every single game we've seen a first pick Athena. She is that important to the meta and that important to these team fights and games that she is first picked every single game.
And we're going to see Sobek picked up across the way. Very high value for Sobek, though. Not sure exactly where that's going to go. We do see a Thor. I know exactly where that's going to go, though. He's going to go up into the air over and over again and provide global presence for the boys of Mehoy and Minoy.
Yep, Salsa Squadron are not going to stop there. Waiting to see what Mehoy will yeah, we're waiting to see what Mehoy are going to pick later on, but Salsa Squadron going to draft in that Scylla, the I'm a Monsters, the Crushes. She provides so much damage. In some games, she's kind of fallen off, as we've seen so far, but I'm really hoping in the hands of Salsa Squadron, it's going to be a massacre. But we're going to have the Nemesis drafted in, which is very smart. They don't know where that Sobek is going, and if that's a solo back, that's going to be Sobek that they could shred protections from, and whoever's in the Guardian position for the support that they will be able to shred as well.
And we do see Janus picked up, so that's double global presence coming out for the boys of Mehoy and Minoy. Janus is a very potent mid pick in this meta. And we're waiting on the ban to come through from Mehoy Minoy, and that is going to be a Guan Yu ban. I like this ban out. It kind of tips their hand. I think that the odds are that that's a solo back more and more with that kind of a ban.
Yeah, which means that Nemesis pick was on point because, like I mentioned, her ultimate going to be able to shred those protections to take down Sobek quickly and whoever is going to be the support quickly. But Salsa Squadron not stopping there. Going to go ahead and start banding out Hu Yi, the god of geometry, as I like to call him, and Apollo banned out by Mehoy as well. So Salsa Squadron have a little bit more of a smaller god pool to pick from when it comes to ADC, as I highly doubt that's the Scylla ADC.
Probably not. Kumbhakarna's going to be the final ban over here, and I like that from Salsa Squadron. If they're reading this as a solo back, then they also don't want to allow them to pick up the Kumbhakarna to round out that double Guardian composition, take away one of the more potent damage dealers, and one of those people who can do a lot of disorientation and setup on the side of another Guardian. So good to ban out that Kumbhakarna there. I like it. I like it a lot.
So Mehoy Minoy, as mentioned, they have the Thor ultimate and they have the Janus ultimate, and even to some extent the Janus portals. That's going to give Mehoy Minoy a lot of map movement, a lot of control. Now Mehoy drafting something we don't see often, a Cupid. That's going to be going up against Salsa Squadron's Anhur. When it comes to these two, I kind of tip my scales in the favor of Anhur because I love the CC that he brings out. The Impale is fantastic, but the Slow in the Sands, and, even just using that as a zoning tool can be incredibly useful.
Absolutely, and we do see the Ymir coming out. So I'm guessing that the members of Salsa Squadron said, "Hey, You want to run double Guardian? Fine. We'll do it too. We're going to see Athena and Ymir, and then the final pick on Mehoy Minoy is another Guardian. It is Kumbhakarna. Get ready, guys. No Warriors. Warriors are overrated.
No warriors indeed. I kind of would have liked to see Salsa Squadron switch with that Kumbhakarna to give Scylla the epic uppercut to go into her I'm a monster. But more now that I think about it a little bit more, that freeze isn't an ultimate from Ymir, and that's still perfect setup. It's still it still does what it needs to do, and it's not an ultimate. So I
Absolutely.
take it back. I like it. I love what Salsa Squadron are bringing to the table.
Also, that would have forced the Athena into solo if the Kumbhakarna had been their support, and that would have been really, really kind of strange right now. But I think that we're ready to get into this game.
I think we are as well. Let's just go ahead and get to it.
What we
I'm
have
tabbing
over here,
over now.
what we have going on is Salsa Squadron taking out Mehoy Minoy. Salsa Squadron is going to go ahead and get the order side as the higher ranked seed. We are going to see Fine OK taking the Ymir into the solo line. Kaden going to be running Nemesis in the jungle. Sheikah going to be shaking it off with Scylla in the mid lane. And then Sabbath and Wowie are going to be running in that duo lane on her Athena.
And in the red trunks on the right side of your spectator UI, Mordex as that solo Beck, Erudite, with Thor in the jungle, the Woodle on Janus in the mid lane, and Kumbhakarna and Cupid from Wicked or Not and Jams as the support and ADC respectively.
And we do see 450 pots coming out in this game. Both junglers and both mids have a 450 pot. Neither of them electing for anything other than their starter item in that 450 pot and some potions to go with it. We're going to see a good bit of aggression coming out from these teams, I think.
I like seeing solos with red pot or with the power pots. I say red, but I also like when Giannis's have it because Unstable Vortex already does a massive amount of damage, and then when you get hit with one, when you have a pot on, it is devastating destruction. It is crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sheikah gets a little pushed out just by how much damage the Woodle can bring to the table.
Absolutely. You know, I noticed that Kaden didn't use his power pot until right before the jungle camp spawn, and I'm wondering if that's not to give himself an extra, say, 20 seconds against his opponent. With that power pot, they're going to have that timer based on theirs, and they're going to be dead wrong about when it's actually going to go through. Sheikah going to go ahead and take an early fall through a portal, though, in the mid lane.
Yeah, that took like a third of the poor Scylla's health, and the Woodle's able to freely rotate over and take this right mid camp with Aerate, no problem. Sheikah's here, gonna be able to sniff it out, but instead gonna go ahead and turn. Gonna get these fire imps, or at least help out Kaden and Fine OK. How do you feel about that solo matchup?
The Ymir against Sobek?
Yes.
I mean, dude, the changes to Mark of the Vanguard mean that this is going to be a defensive powerhouse fight, and I think that Mordax is going to be looking to do exactly what we actually just saw Butt Blasted do over here in the previous game that we watched, which was rotate a little bit more often and have more presence in the team fights. Ymir is probably going to be looking to do the same thing, but I expect that this is just going to be a slap fight.
So Sheikah and Kaden were clearing out minions, and the Woodle sent out just one little unstable vortex, almost obliterated Kaden, and Sheikah's still regenerating health from it. It was insane. Just how much damage Sheikah took from falling through that portal. I feel like my prediction came true. Scylla's going to have to be a little bit more passive. She thought she was the top dog coming in, but Janus is a powerhouse to not be reckoned with.
Unstable Vortex does a ton of damage even without the power potion, and if he has a fully stacked soul stone on top of that, then I wouldn't want to be touching even half of it, let alone the entirety when those big blue balls come crashing together in the middle of the wave.
So the Woodle hit level 5, and now Sheikah hit level 5, and with Kaden here as well, we have a couple of ultimates on the table. But the Woodle was the one to hit it first. I just want to mention that. Janus is ripped roaring and ready to go.
You know what that means, right, Tiger?
What?
That means that the Woodle wins the lane. First to 5 wins lane.
We'll have to see. With both junglers now gone, it's really going to come down to just the powerhouse, like who can be the biggest powerhouse. But now Sheikah rotating over. I don't know if they want to go for these imps or, yeah, they're going to go ahead and go for those instead of helping out the solo lane, because Fine OK has Mordax and Aerate here, which isn't necessarily the best combo to work with.
but I think that Fine OK is going to be fine, okay? He's going to be able to get away very safely. Era, I looked over there to make sure that he hadn't used his ultimate to make that rotation, and he didn't. He just walked over to the lane. He was able to use some abilities, and again, we're already seeing that neither of these solo laners are going to have kill potential on the other. It's going to be essentially farm, eventually get ahead, and move back into the team fight phase with a little bit of bonus experience and health.
We haven't seen much kill potential over in the duo lane either. Salsa Squadron rotating down to go ahead and start taking some buffs, whereas they got a little bit of damage onto Wicked or Not on Mehoy Minoy, but since he is a tanky Kumbhakarna, it's not really going to make much of a difference. So we're kind of seeing a slap fight over in the duo lane as well. Nobody's really getting a leg up on the competition. They seem both pretty even, which is really exciting to me because we're not gonna have a stomp, which is nice.
I hear Erite going up into the air, and he is... Oh, he didn't go up in the air. That was a Berserker Barrage. Sorry, those sound cues are the exact same.
Rip the dream.
I know,
but
right? I was really hoping that was going to be the engagement that I was waiting for over here in the middle lane.
Nah, I think Mehoy Minoy going to play it a little safe. Erite and the Woodle got quite a bit of damage off from just one crush. So Sheikah, even though they got a little bit pushed out earlier on, still a powerhouse to be reckoned with as well. Now, Wicked or Not, probably going to get sniffed out here, and Kaden was in the perfect position to go ahead and try to start something, but instead wants to go ahead and secure these XP camps because Mehoy Minoy were able to take both early on. So that's given them a little bit of a lead, but now Salsa Squadron say, hey, no, these numbers don't mean anything yet. Let's just keep getting these objectives instead of forcing these fights.
Absolutely. We don't want to take these fights too early because, after all, you don't get anything if you don't get the kill, and they don't think, I guess, that they have the kill potential quite yet. We do see them rotating over here. Mordax is going to take a good bit of trouble. 50% protection shred coming out, and Kaden going to get credited with that kill using the Ymir and Nemesis ults to great effect over here in the solo lane. Mordax, you are the first one to fall in this game. Salsa Squadron on the board with first blood.
Fine OK wouldn't have been able to do that without the help of Nemesis, so that ultimate was really the bread and butter of what made that combo worth it. And Kaden dutifully gets credit for that kill because he basically did the most work for it. It wouldn't have worked without the Nemesis. So now they're on the board. Graphs not really meaning anything yet. 1,500 experience in favor of the Salsa Squadron and about 1,000 gold in their favor as well. But doesn't mean anything yet. Salsa Squadron would have to really run with that and make that the hypest momentum train. But we'll have to see. Salsa Squadron rotating in. Looks like they want to go for something with Mehoy.
Looks like they do. A crush is going to come out. Taunts just slightly off the mark. Epic uppercut onto Wowie over here. That ultimate's going to be down now. Tectonic Rift from Erite is going to be off the mark, and the members of Mehoy Minoy realize that this isn't a fight that they want to take right now.
Nope, gonna have a solid disengage from all. Wowie's gonna go ahead and head back to the duo lane, but Wicked or Not and Jams are still here. But Sheikah over in the mid lane gonna be able to take out Woodle, and now they're looking for somebody else. Erite forced into the air, but Kaden gonna finish him off before he can jump off. Oh, that was so close, he almost made it, but that is gonna be 2 kills in favor of the Salsa Squadron, and now Sabbath returning back to the duo lane to try and help out Wowie.
Sabbath returning over to help Wowie. Wowie was getting a kind of a passive 2v1, like not a direct one, because Wicked or Not was kind of staying away. We get a nice pillar stun coming out with a bit of setup from Sabbath. Good job on that, Wowie. Able to throw the Kumbhakarna down to about 40% health. He has no potions left. Wards are taking up all the space in his inventory, so he's now on HP 5 regeneration.
So checking player damage, because I love seeing these early numbers. We're about 7 minutes into the game. Salsa Squadron up 3 kills. Scylla topping the charts, followed by Ymir. We don't normally see that, but Ymir only 500 behind the lead. 4 members of Salsa Squadron are dominating that list, which tells you a little bit about how these fights are going for the boys in blue.
Very well, I would say. Very well. The power potions, of course, by now have worn off from the early game, but it doesn't matter. It got them out of that crucial early game stage, and now they're settling into this mid game where Scylla's going to be able to clear wave pretty easily on her own. Obviously going to still have the grouping of 3 in the middle lane once the Athena makes the rotation back over here. Shake is going to go ahead and back and probably start up a stacking item. Yeah, we're going to see Soul Reliquary Gonna go ahead and get bought out.
So hold on,
though.
Caden's gonna get stomped out by the tectonic rift. Double tap, not gonna take too much out, but that's gonna be down for a couple of seconds. They might want to go ahead and try to aggress. We see Sabbath jumping in with the taunt. The ultimate is good on Aerate, and he's gonna use the Mjolnir's attunement to get away. And Sabbath gonna be forced to stay back from Wicked or Not CC. So Salsa Squadron wanted to make something happen, weren't able to do so, and Aerate got out by the skin of his teeth.
Aerate able to use the Thor kit to his advantage there. He kind of died due to nice crush damage coming out from Sheikah in the mid lane as the Woodle is forced to retreat. Aerate had to come back in, but again using Mjolnir's attunement to be forced to get out of there. And now Wicked or Not trying to do some effective zoning for his team. Wicked or Not is going to stick around and clean this up. Aerate, I'm surprised that he is still around, but I guess he's not entirely worried as the Gold Fury is started by the members of Salsa Squadron.
I would like to mention that the Woodle got away by forcing the ultimate out, so he's not going to have that for any kind of rotation over to the Gold Fury. Salsa Squadron are going to secure this, and Wowie trying to get away from Wicked or Not. The Heart Bomb will be good though, and Jams puts his team on the map, but Aerate coming down trying to add to that number. Sabbath a nice tasty target. They're continuing to try to find him, but the root's not going to connect with anybody, and Sheikah and Caden are going to get away, but Fino K going to solo Mordax over in the solo lane. So that's live fight turning into Ymir's favor. There was already a couple of level difference, and now it's just going to continue to grow.
It's going to continue to grow, and more importantly, it's going to let Fino K put pressure onto this tier 1 and just continue doing whatever he wants on the right-hand side of this map. You see him rotating already over here. It looks like he's probably going to go for the fire elementals on his own. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and clean those up. No problem whatsoever. Going to go ahead and back, get himself some mana, spend some of that gold from that kill that he just got, and generally be a happy Ice Giant.
Happy Ice Giant indeed. Happy fed Ice Giant thus far, because he's got a kill under his belt and the assist from earlier on, so he's sitting nice, pretty, and happy. The highest level on his team, followed by Scylla. Both are handling their farm very well. Athena trailing behind, but now level 10, so doing better than Kumbhakarna at this point when it comes to the farm, but they do have a couple more kills under their belt compared to the others.
Absolutely. 4-1 read the kills. We're looking at about a 4,000, well, no, it's about a 3,500 gold lead for the Salsa Squadron right here at about the 10.5 minute mark. Fire Giant has spawned. We aren't expecting anybody to look at that just yet. Probably not going to be looking at that for another 5 to 10 minutes or so. See a small grouping of members of Blue over here waiting around the corner trying to catch anybody out. Wicked or Not is going to be the subject of this wrath, and he is going to fall even in his passive. Sheikah is going to get credited for that kill. Beautiful execution of the Nemesis ult taunt, and I'm a monster there.
We haven't seen too many of these hair-raising, gigantic 5v5 team fights. Most of these kills from Salsa Squadron are from these little pickoffs, these little 1-for-0s, these little 2-for-0s, or 2-for-1s when it comes to Mehoy Minoy's getting on the map. So I'm still waiting for that giant explosive team fight, because that's when I want to see what Mehoy Minoy are really capable of. They've been spread thin thus far, but it's really going to come down to how they bring themselves back up with these larger team fights.
Yeah, and I think that part of that is Salsa Squadron doesn't want to fight all 5 members of Mehoy Minoy at once. They've got a lot of things that can get them in trouble if they fight into it at once. You know, you've got stuns, you've got portals, you've got mezzes. It's just bad if you get surrounded by too many members of Mehoy Minoy. So these picks are actually strategically a much better option for Salsa Squadron, and I think that they're executing on that game plan perfectly.
Oh, they are, but I want Mehoy Minoy to execute on their own plan of, we have so much CC, we could probably get you, but Sabbath getting a beautiful 2-man taunt, Aerate forced to use the purification, but Sheikah gonna explode the Kumbhakarna. Crash doing quite a bit of damage to the Woodle as well, and now Caden's gonna rotate over, looking for somebody, was able to sniff out Jams, but decides to go ahead and head back more towards the safety of the mid lane. And then, I don't know, Salsa Squadron are taking these picks like we just saw, but Mehoy Minoy would have, in my opinion, a much better chance if they became aggressive and went for these team fights. But now we're watching Caden, looking for the Woodle, going to be able to get away with that portal. But you know, using that offensively would be so much better.
Right, being able to put that portal underneath the Nemesis and setting up for, say, a Thor stun, into Mjolnir's Attunement, into Berserker Barrage, into a kill would be, something to behold, right?
All Salsa Squadron do so much damage, but Mehoy Minoy have the CC of the Janus working in their favor. They have Wicked or Nah CC working in their favor. Like I said, I want to see that explosive team fight. I'm still waiting for it yet, but Salsa Squadron aren't waiting for anything. 3-man taunt coming in into I'm a Monster, gonna get 1 kill by air raid, and now looking to set up somebody else. Not gonna connect with Wicked or Not, but they are gonna connect with that tower. It is finished.
And we noticed there that Sheikah, if we hover on Sheikah, already has Sikkim and Crush both fully mastered. That is 10 extra power on the side of the Scylla due to her passive. Gonna go ahead and just make this climb through the last 5 levels that she needs to make that much more potent.
Well, that, and with the Sikkim, you're able to get 2 extra targets. So if you're in a team fight, you're able to get a max of 3 people, 3 people rooted out with that. So definitely nice as well. And then Crush, level 5, lots of damage. Salsa Squadron, not neglecting their back camps, not neglecting their speed camps, their buff camps. And I really think that's just the right place to be. Salsa Squadron are playing everything right with the team comp they have. We've seen Salsa Squadron jump head first, completely ready to shred everyone with these team fights. But with what they have and with what Mehoy Minoy has, they're playing very smart with what they know they can handle without giving Mehoy Minoy a chance to get a foothold on this match.
If we look at both teams, they both had 1 timer up on their jungles, on their respective jungles, and they're both rotating to take care of that timer, like, now. Both teams have been very efficient at making sure to keep these timers on the refresh, making sure to efficiently farm and get whatever gold that they can. Salsa Squadron is doing a better job of mid-camp control and also getting the picks that they need. Taking out that tier 1 tower is also not to be understated. Taking out a tier 1 tower in the middle lane forces the opposing team to take much farther back jungle rotations and puts you in a better spot for things like this, which is sneaking the Gold Fury at the 15-minute mark.
I don't think it's sneaking anymore. I'm pretty sure Wicked or Not knows what's going on, but instead they're going to go ahead and stop that. Wicked or Not going to be on the receiving end of a taunt, and the Nemesis ultimate going to go ahead and try to get away while Air Raid jumps in the air with the ultimate. Fields of Love are down from Jams, not going to connect with anyone, but wowie, beautiful Sanctuary coming out from him. Double tap, not going to connect either, as that sand is used as a zoning tool. Air Raid going to get forced to use the purifications, and a wall is going to stop him from trying to get away. But Mordak's going to pluck, fine, okay, but there's nobody there to help him retaliate against it. Sheikah's going to be able to get away from the damage too, even though Air Raid's looking pretty hard. There's a 3-level difference, and Sheikah could blow him to shreds. Sabbath's still looking to try and find something, and Wowie is able to finish off Mordak's in the back. Salsa Squadron are now here. Probably going to be able to take this Gold Fury even easier.
I don't think Gold Fury's the call. They know that there are 2 members here, and a Blink Freeze coming out. Ari, you were in some trouble. Sheikah credited with that kill.
Beautiful.
And now we're going to see the dash get caught by the wall. Fine OK is on point with this wall placement. Pillar also going to be blocking Cupid into place. A surrender vote has started on the part of Mehoy Minoy, and we're seeing a 10-1 Salsa Squadron lead. That was 4 kills in that little bit of time. Crush is going to allow them to put out some extra damage. Nemesis Soul going to be used over here. Not going to be enough. The Gold Fury is going to fall here as Caden is on zoning duty up top.
The pillar, though. Oh my gosh. Cupid was trying to get away in that pillar. But we're going to see Salsa Squadron rotate towards the right side. Going to get those right mid camps. Every little bit counts. Get the stuff after the stuff. Maybe throw a word down on Fire Giant so they can start scouting that out later. But
oh, they don't have the timer. Oh, no, they don't have the timer. They don't know it's there. Oh man, they're gonna watch this replay and be like, "Oh, we should have gone ahead and stripped that too. Our bad." Oh well,
it happens.
They got the
they
tier
were able
1
to take this tower at least. You know that mana camp over tower? No, tower over mana camp every day of the week. Mordax has a little bit more sustain, but it's not going to do him any good if he doesn't survive these team fights.
That's very true, and you saw what happens exactly when Fine OK makes the team up with Wowie. They are able to put the hurt onto Mordax. It doesn't matter that Mordax is one of the highest people on his team over there in the solo lane. It doesn't matter. You've got the fury of a hunter and solo laner coming after you. You're going to fall.
Exactly. And well, if we take out the supports, the lowest level on Salsa Squadron is 16, whereas the highest level on Mehoy Minoy is 16. So we're starting to see that experience difference really come into play with nobody hitting 20 yet. That's just pure experience lead, like you've mentioned before. 10-1, 17 minutes and 53 seconds into the game, and Salsa Squadron are really showing us why they are the first seed in the North American Challenger Cup.
We see Sabbath going to go ahead and get a beautiful taunt once again. Purification forced out by Wowie, but a beautiful Anvil of Dawn going to come down. Wow, that was a great through space and time. Lots of damage coming onto Sheikah. Sheikah forced into the I'm a Monster ultimate. Gonna go ahead and fall here. Jams picks up that kill. Epic uppercut onto Wowie. Wowie is now getting heartbound as well. Sabbath able to get the taunt off. Jungle Fury is going to come out, but Wowie not going to get credited for the kill, even though he worked so hard on it. That's going to go towards Caden up at the top. Now Wowie, even with Defender of Olympus on him, isn't going to be enough. Mordax getting credited with that kill. And we're seeing signs of life from Mehoy Minoy. Shards of Ice going to be enough to pick up 2 kills there. Wicked or not going to fall. And it looks like, unfortunately, Airide is going to fall as well. Mordax, the last man standing on his team, forced to retreat back to his tower.
Yeah, there's not much that could have been done there. Mehoy Minoy were able to get 2 kills off of Salsa Squadron in return for 4 kills for Salsa Squadron. And Mordax looking like he's about to be the next casualty. He's trying to pluck Caden, trying to get out of this situation and do anything, waiting for that dash to come up. And he's dancing around in the tower, waiting for them to get plucked out from the tower damage. But Caden, with the ultimate, finally going to be able to finish him off, and going to be able to finish off the tower before it takes any of Salsa Squadron out. So that was essentially 5 kills.
That was an unofficial
tower
or unofficial
for 1
deicide.
kill or 2 kills from Salsa Squadron.
That was an unofficial deicide. I think that Mordax wins that, though, because he did, after all, stay alive long enough to prevent it from going deicide at the top of the screen.
It's the little things, man. So Fine OK is going to be just fine. Going to go ahead and back towards
he's okay.
Back to himself and get some items, because they just got that tower. Extra gold.
Extra gold indeed. We do see 3 towers already fallen on the side of Mehoy Minoy at the 20-minute mark. No towers have fallen yet on Salsa Squadron. In fact, they all look pretty healthy except for that solo lane tower, which itself is still doing pretty well.
Well, I mean, speaking of towers, nobody on Mehoy Minoy has been able to get any structure damage. Nemesis has actually been the key player there, but now we're looking at another team fight. Mehoy Minoy may have a chance, but the Nemesis ultimate is good. They're trying to lock down anybody at this point. The Woodle's going to be able to get quite a bit of damage onto Caden. He's going to get plucked into the Fields of Love, but the Purification will be good, and this through space and time going to miss. So far, Caden has been alive, but Wicked or not, going to get credit for that kill. A two-man I'm a Monster, barely making Wicked or not, just taking him out. Sheikah gonna get that passive procs and finish him off. Mordax in a pretty bad spot, but the Fine OK decides, nope, not gonna go ahead and chase him. Jams is just enough, a tasty target as well. So Wowie both looking for it. Wowie gonna get credit for the Cupid kill, and now they're set to take this tower. The first tier 2 looks like it's going to fall right here at the 21, maybe 21 and a half minutes, if it can hold out just a little bit, as 4 members of Salsa Squadron are right here. Yeah, no, it's gone. There was nothing they couldn't have done. And this XP camp just so happens to have come up, so now Salsa Squadron can take that. Taking their red buff, taking everything they can. There's an XP camp we might want to take. Nope, they're going to decide, hey, go for the Gold Fury again. Salsa Squadron are playing a team fight and objective game.
Playing an objective game, and the next objective on their list is the Gold Fury. They've got that started up. Holding the Crush is very wise here. Crush increases the amount of damage that's going to be done, and that's the Gold Fury. The third of the game going to the Salsa Squadron.
Yep, gonna go ahead and take that left mid camp and then start on their own jungle, as they've already cleared out the majority of Mehoy Minoy's. It's 22 minutes and 5 seconds into the game. Salsa Squadron 18, Mehoy Minoy 4. Looking at the graphs real quick, a 21,000 experience lead in favor of the boys in blue.
But that's a deceptive number, right? That's a deceptive number now that we're at level 20?
Hold on, not everybody's at level 20 yet. We're still waiting on the Athena. Afterwards, I'd say, like when she hits 20, then it's a deceptive number. What it really comes down to at that point is gold, which they are up 11,000. So that is not a deceptive number.
Plus, I'm looking at the levels, and we have 4 members of Salsa Squadron at level 20, 0 members of Mehoy Minoy at level 20. In fact, no one's even at 19 yet on the side of Mehoy Minoy. This is a very dire situation.
Yep, Fine OK looked like he was in a pretty bad spot with 4 members here, but he's almost completely soloed the Woodle, who's been forced to get out of dodge, and now the rest of Salsa Squadron is here, at least impartial, to try and get any kind of kill they can. The wall was not good, but he's going to be able to freeze out Wicked or Nah. Not enough damage to take him out with Sabbath, but at least they have everybody here just in case. Sheikah working on these minions, and they're going to start pushing up for this right side tower.
You're going to start pushing up for this right side tower as Wowie is going to split off and do those split push things over there on the right hand side. Let's go ahead and grab him real quick, but we're going to go back over here as we have a 2 versus Ymir monster coming out. Sanctuary is going to prevent the damage onto the Cupid, but doesn't matter. Sheikah gets another shot at it. Going to go ahead and take out double kill, but not able to land it onto the Woodle. Unfortunately, the portal was enough to stop that one. Sheikah getting credited for 2 kills there, and they're going to go ahead and get this tier 2 tower. We're seeing Fine OK teleport over to his teammate, and the hits keep on coming. Ultimate's going to be up. Wowie going to take a spill, but that's okay. Fine OK is going to take out Mordax in return, and now we see Caden using the dash very effectively to take out Mordax as Sheikah finishes off the Woodle after all, and we do see Deicide coming out on the boys in red.
We had an unofficial Deicide earlier, but this is the first official Deicide that we've had in this game. So, a bit of a demoralizing hit to Mehoy Minoy, but with a great assault, they are going against the first seed of the North American Challengers Cup. Now, Salsa Squadron have been showing a very definitive gameplay. They're such a cohesive unit that it's almost like they know what each other's thinking. I would love to hear their comms sometime, just to watch them and listen to them, because they are so tight-knit. They're not making a lot of mistakes for Mehoy Minoy to capitalize on because of their communication. It's fantastic to watch them.
Absolutely. Salsa Squadron has really come together as a unit. It's really fun to watch their games. Watching them way back in week 1, they were extremely strong the entire time. It was a beautiful thing to see, and I'm glad that it's continued into the last week of the open bracket, and I'm really excited to see what they can do in the round robin stage starting next week.
Yep, because they are definitely secured in that position. We're going to have a little bit of a dance around the Fire Giant, but Mordax going to be on the receiving end of quite a bit of pain, and with the wall there, nobody's able to really help him. He's going to be forced to dash out instead of use any kind of CC to try and get something. But Sheikah forced to use the Purification out of the Fields of Love, and now Jam's on the receiving end of the Nemesis ultimate, and now Find OK is going to be able to freeze him. But Wicked or Not coming in with a beautiful blink to go ahead and epic uppercut Fine OK into the air so Jams can get away. And now Aerate jumping in with the Thor ultimate. He's looking for something. Fine OK is a little too tanky for him, though. The Berserker's Barrage not doing too much. Caden gonna be able to take out the Sobek, and now Fine OK says bye-bye Aerate. Sheikah's using the I'm a Monster. Doesn't really have a target yet. Gonna be able to take out Wicked or Not, and that passive is proc. Sabbath gonna get credit for that kill, and Sheikah says bye-bye Jams. You were the initial target, and now you are gone. As is your Phoenix.
One member of Mehoy Minoy is up, and one member of Mehoy Minoy is down. That is it. Deicide, and this is going to be a Titan falling very quickly. Salsa Squadron moving on to round 4.
Beautiful plays coming out from both teams, but Salsa Squadron have solidified their spot and are moving on to round 4 here. You are watching the NA Challengers Cup, brought to you by Discord, hi-rez Studios, and Owlhead Studios. We're going to bring you round 5 here in just a bit. Stay tuned.